Yo, 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 what's up? It's Chris Sims. It's Chris Sims Unbuttoned. It's Monday. We're live. It's 10 a.m.
Yeah,
Connor Rogers is here. We're going to hit every game. We're going to talk about every nuance in the history of football today. I mean, at least week 10 football.
Yeah, the history of Week 10 of the
week 10.
2025
We're going to hit all
season.
the nuance.
That's right.
And the history of Week 10 football. Hope everybody's good out there. Another fun day in the NFL. Good Sunday night game last night. I'm excited for tonight's game. Packers-Eagles. I mean, that would not shock me if it was an NFC Championship matchup later down the road. They're that quality of football team. So what's up, man? How you doing? You feeling good?
I'm feeling good, man.
Hell yeah, you're feeling good, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, your Jets won.
It's a winning streak, Chris.
Yeah.
Haven't lost.
Right.
Haven't lost in 3 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not even joking. I'm not sure I'd even want to win that way.
I
the way you
mean,
did. I feel like our loss makes me feel better as a Giants fan than your win as a Jet. All right?
It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty outside of Brees Hall. When you throw for net 42 yards.
54 yards on the day.
Is the total.
42 on one
There
play
it
with a
is.
screen.
Right. So the yards behind the line of scrimmage.
I mean, it's incredible.
It speaks volumes of what the staff was able to do.
Yeah.
To win a game without a quarterback throwing the ball forwards.
It's amazing.
But at the same time, you're right. It's also one of those of like.
It speaks about the Browns as well.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, poor Kevin Stefanski at the end.
You guys do well. You can't do anything on offense. You scored
Nothing.
27. Our offense, the Giants, is Jackson Darts, a highlight show. We can't close out a game. We score, what do we end up scoring? 20. I mean, how the hell does that happen? Unbelievable. That's the NFL football.
Weird sport. That's right.
We got lots of fun to talk about.
It kind of speaks volumes in
Yeah,
the NFL. D.
right.
Sauter already weighing in. Chris and Connor are going to be the guys looking out of the bus meme, with Connor being ecstatic because of the Jets
Right.
and Chris dejected because of the Giants.
Yep.
Well done right here.
Just looking
Giants,
at the
man.
rocks on the side of the road there.
And I can't believe my football team has won 2 games in a row. But guess what? They're 11.5-point underdogs for Thursday Night Football against the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Which sounds about right.
Well, yeah, that's right. I mean, New England's not going to, piss down their leg and mess a game up like
better
Cleveland
not.
can. I don't
No.
expect that to happen. But, New England's a different animal, as we talk about. And, right, New England, we watched them again yesterday. And I think that was another little, check the box, like,
Yep.
I said this to Florio earlier today. I still feel like people are waiting or not sold on the Colts and the Patriots. Like,
I would
like,
agree.
They're gonna fall off, right? And I'm like, no, they're going nowhere. And like New England especially, I think New England's going like this right now. I think they're getting better and better as we go here. But that was somewhat of a landmark type win for Vrabel in year one to go down to Tampa. And I know Tampa's not at full strength, but they're still a Super Bowl contender. To win that game on the road and have moments of really controlling the football game, I thought was really quite impressive by the New England Patriots.
And I think that's what people wanted to see.
Yeah.
When is New England going to play
Right.
someone? When are they going to be in an environment that
get tested a little.
Right. And
Right.
I mean, here you go. Right here. New England wins 28-23. They now have 8 wins on the season. In the previous 2 seasons combined, they had 8 wins. The number that stands out the most, Chris, is they are 5-0 on the road this season. Obviously, Mike Vrabel is as good as anybody preparing his team to play
Definitely.
anywhere. 7th straight win. And I think the highlight of this one, and all the talk's going to be about Drake May being the MVP frontrunner.
Sure.
You're not going to find me complaining there.
Deserves to be.
But it's that Travion Henderson got going.
Yeah.
Because really, one of the negative stories out of New England has been they drafted Travion Henderson on day 2. We know he's the most explosive back in their offense, maybe the most explosive player in their offense.
I don't disagree.
Why can't they get him going?
Right.
With Ramondre down, they were almost forced to.
Yeah.
But man, it looked good.
Well, that's what's good. Sometimes, and you've been around enough now, where the rookies, it takes a little while to get in the trust tree, especially with really good offensive coordinators, because really good offensive coordinators usually have really intricate, detailed offenses that have a lot of rules.
Especially in pass pro for him.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Pass pro is like, and again, even the routes and the way the play's called, a lot of it. So, yeah, I don't think he was probably in the trust tree all the way, but that's where it's like, that's when, the injuries happen, and now you're forced to throw him in there. Or Kyle Williams in there, right? And all of a sudden, it's like, wait, they're not perfect. I don't trust them to do everything. But, Kayshon Boutte's hurt. Ramondre Stevenson's hurt. We got to play him. It's sink or swim time, all right? So, we'll be a little careful, but we got to let him play a little bit. And that's what was amazing. I mean, that's what's amazing about New England. I think, one, they have a good core of veteran players, but the team as a whole is somewhat young still.
Is.
And when you have Drake May at quarterback and, of course, the left tackle and Campbell, and then when you tell me, wait, 3 plays yesterday, 3 plays that went for touchdowns were made by 2 rookies, and in those 3 plays, it was 196 yards in 3 plays for touchdowns. I mean, that's saying something. Explosive, explosive plays, playmakers, they're at a premium in the NFL.
Without a doubt.
And the Patriots just showed the ability to not only be a big play team, but if they have to go on a 10-play, 12-play drive and have to execute that way, they can do that as well. So they have a little bit of everything. And, yeah, I'm really, I think I'm a fan of what the Patriots are doing right now.
It's hard not to be.
Right.
I mean, you look at just the preparation Josh McDaniels had against Todd Bowles' blitzes in this game. Drake May was 5 of 9. But for 121 yards, 2 touchdowns, he didn't throw a pick against the blitz. So, Chris, essentially, when they're bringing pressure, Drake May is not just getting it out hot; he's pushing the ball down the field.
He is. He's well schooled, like you said, and this is what makes New England great. Not only do they have talent, and they've done some things there that have made them good with draft picks and free agency, you have a head coach that I think is special. You do too, right? I mean, to me, he's mini Bill Parcells with some Belichick, stuff to him as well. And then Josh McDaniels, I'd put up there as far as an offensive coordinator. I'd put him up there with anybody in the last 25 years in the NFL. Anybody. I don't care who it is. You name it. Shanahan, McVay, Andy Reid, whatever. When it comes to calling offensive plays, McDaniel is up there with anybody. And so what Josh McDaniels has done, and we showed it last night, right, Pete? I don't even know if we can play the little package of stuff we did last night as far as him picking up the blitz and what they did. Okay, and we don't have it. But Drake May, either way, he's well schooled. He's well schooled in one, he knows where he's protected and not.
Yep.
And to me, this is like what we talked about last year with C.J. Stroud, right? This is where a good offensive coordinator, they put everything on the quarterback, right? So he knows that, and then he knows what makes him hot and when he has to get the ball out of his hands. And then I think the other thing he does that is just at such a great level, and I think you're seeing it too, is he just, when it is blitz or the pocket collapses, he just doesn't flinch. He's unwavering.
Fearless. Absolutely fearless.
He just stands there. It's like there's nobody there. I mean, you look at the touchdown pass he had to Kyle Williams on the 72-yarder. I mean, the pocket's collapsing. He's got a guy bearing down on him. And I mean, he's as relaxed as can be. Like he's not even not even worried he's gonna get hit. And then he throws a ball that is like a high quality football. So yeah, the offense is just, I think, gonna continue to go this way because you see Diggs more and more in the intermediate short routes, right? DeMario, Booty, Kyle Williams, they can stretch the field. Mac Hollins, right? And then when Ramondre's back, you got more of a sledgehammer with Travion.
It's a lot of guys.
A lot of guys, exactly right. And tight end play's not too bad there either.
Right.
So that's where you look at it, and I think like this is where everybody's got to get it through their head a little bit. New England can go to the Super Bowl, especially in the AFC, where there's not really like every team's got a question. And I would sit here and go, I have one of the least amount of questions about New England as compared to just about all the teams in the AFC.
Like on the 53-man.
The whole thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying they're perfect.
Sure.
But we look at other teams, I think, in the AFC right now, and you go, hey, Denver, hey, the offense, I'm not sure about it at times, right? They need another playmaker or something. Pittsburgh, I mean, holy crap, there's a laundry list.
We'll get there.
The Chargers, it's like, I mean, Justin Herbert gets slaughtered every game. Can that continue? I don't know, right? You know, so Buffalo, we know there's issues there. Jacksonville, there's issues, right?
Yeah.
So that's where you look at it and you go, yeah, Indianapolis and New England are here to stay. And don't be shocked if they're the top 2 seeds in the AFC.
On the other side of this one for the Bucs, all 3 of their losses have come against teams with winning records entering the game. Baker Mayfield said they are lacking killer instinct on offense. It comes down to me. That's my job to get that fixed. I think also to be fair to the Bucs, Chris,
yes, do it.
We love Emeka Egbuka, right? And we love that Tez Johnson has stepped up.
Right.
This team is without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Yes.
And that goes a long way with the rapport that Baker has with those veterans as well. So it's like you can't replace those guys. There's no maybe Emeka Egbuka for Chris Godwin, which is amazing when we could say that. But you can't replace Mike Evans. And you look at Baker's numbers, he's still getting it done through the air. But it's just hard to play.
I think
and
so.
Bucky Irving's been hurt all year.
Exactly right. You put that on top of it, that's a big deal. I mean, Bucky Irving, damn. I mean, he's one of the better, more explosive backs in football. So, yeah, I think that all of that. And then, you know, of course, the offensive line injuries and all of that. I don't think you got a full, complete picture of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers quite get there. But to me, again, the Buccaneers are a damn good football team. We know that. I don't know if I agree with the killer instinct aspect of it, right? Because I think that's what makes them kind of good.
Yes,
right?
I've seen it from them.
But I think it's just lack of supporting big-time playmakers like you're talking about at this moment, right? And they played a team that matches up well with them. That's the bottom line, too. The New England can stop the run. Tampa's pretty good at running the ball. And then when you talk about, we don't have our full cast of receivers out there, and they got 2 corners that can cover and do some stuff on the outside. I mean, 3 corners, really. Carlton Davis, Marcus Jones, and Gonzalez, I'd go, that's a damn good 3 right there. So that gives them the ability to match up in man-to-man. I still think the world of the Bucs. I think they're really damn good, but I don't think we're seeing their complete product yet. Let's wait a few more weeks till they get healthy, and hopefully they can get a Mike Evans back, and let's see what they look like then. But they're certainly one of the better teams in the NFC.
And the full quote, that's just Baker being Baker. He said, it comes down to me. That's my job to get that fixed.
Yeah, he just puts it on himself.
Which he always does, which is why he's one of the better
right.
leaders in the NFL. But a massive win for the Patriots, who are on the short week against the Jets at home. New England will be at home Thursday night. The next one, a little bit of a stunner. Dolphins always play Buffalo tough, so I didn't sit here thinking that Buffalo was going to cover a 9.5 line.
Right.
But this is as bad as we've seen the Bills look in quite some time on both sides of the ball. This does snap a 6-game win streak against the Dolphins, despite the Dolphins typically playing them at least competitively.
Yeah, that's right.
But, I mean, no answer for Devon Achane in this game.
Nope.
And the Bills have had games, Chris, where they don't have an answer for what the offense is doing to them, but their answer is their offense. But that didn't exist in this game.
That didn't exist. Exactly right.
It's like, Josh Allen, you always say Superman. Well, sometimes you can't be Superman.
Exactly right. So there he is. There's a game yesterday where I always say, again, he makes some amazing plays still, but it's not like he's perfect and just making the amazing plays we were accustomed to seeing. And it's like, okay, can somebody help him out a little bit? Wait, hold on. Let me check the rules. Oh, the defense can make a play. Oh, okay, hold on. I just wanted to make sure. Wait. Oh, James Cook, they can't dominate in the run game? Wait. Can somebody else do something to help Josh Allen out a little bit? And of course, like you said, some of it was self-inflicted with himself as well. But I think we get back into the same old story here of what is our theme of the pod here a little bit with Buffalo. I mean, it's just, again, I like it, but do I look at it and sit here and go, ooh, I think they're one of the upper echelons, like cream of the crop, top football teams in the league in the AFC or the NFC? No, I don't. I got questions. The game has to go a certain way for Buffalo. They need to play a certain style. When it becomes, oh, no, we're behind, or oh, no, we can't stop this team's run like we talk about all the time, the game just changes in a big-time way, even against lesser competition. And like I said this on social media last night a little bit, like, hey, I don't remember too many Super Bowl teams who lose 30-13 to 2-7 football teams. I'm just saying. It's a broad statement. I know it's happened before, but I'm just saying that's not usually what happens to any team that's in the Super Bowl. They have a loss during the year where you go, hey, they got their ass whooped by that 2-7 team in the middle of November. That's a rare thing. It really is. Now, maybe the score looks a little worse than what it actually was, but there's no denying they were kind of controlled in the football game.
I thought so.
Right.
Every time the Bills had some positive momentum where they got across the logo, 50-yard line, James Cook fumble on the toss play.
Exactly right.
Josh Allen interception in the red zone.
Right.
It was just
Josh Allen fumble on the quarterback sneak when you thought, okay, maybe they're going to make this game close and get it interesting. Right.
Every single time.
Right.
And we got to hear from a very frustrated Josh Allen and Dawson Knox on this loss.
They came ready to play. They wanted it obviously a little more than us. I got to be better.
It's in any given week in the NFL, they came out and they just wanted it. They played hard. They had a great plan for us. A lot of respect for them and how they prepare for our offense.
Dawson, you're the third offensive leader to say in some form or another they wanted it more. They wanted it. Josh and Dion both said the same thing.
Yeah.
How does that happen with this team? Why is that, do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. It just was clear out there on the field. They just had a chip on their shoulder and they wanted to go out and prove something, and definitely felt like they wanted it more. So we got to do a lot of self-evaluation and kind of get introspective with that, look at ourselves and figure out how to go from here.
That was Josh Allen and Dawson Knox. Deion Dawkins also said they played harder than us. Simple as that.
Yeah.
I don't love that.
No.
Although there's not really a perfect thing to say after a loss like this.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised that was the go-to.
I hear you.
Because this isn't a Bills team wherever I go, effort was the problem.
Right.
I never say that about the Bills.
No, you usually never say that. I think a little bit of here, like the human psychology, I think we got to take into account. One, the Dolphins, Chris Greer getting fired, tumultuous week. They know guys were on the trade conversation.
Jalen Phillips
Right.
shipped out.
Exactly right. Jalen Waddle, he was probably a little bit like, am I going to stay here?
Sure.
There was all that talk. So I think they rallied around that a little bit. And a little bit of like, hey, we're going to keep fighting here. And Mike McDaniel obviously has them fighting, which I think is impressive. But also I think the other aspect is, and we saw this yesterday, all the teams that kind of had remarkable wins last week in week 9, they all, kind of struggled. Hey, Vikings, we beat the Lions.
Yeah.
Oh, not that good. Bears, we had that unbelievable comeback against the Bengals. Well, they had to pull one out of their ass
one.
again,
Yes.
right? The Carolina Panthers, we went up to Green Bay and beat Green Bay.
Not
What? Well,
competitive.
you just laid an egg at home, right?
The Saints.
Exactly.
It's Tyler
and then,
Shuck.
and so then I throw this in there with it. Like, we just beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs are one of the better teams, right? The Steelers, we beat the Colts last week. Oh, you looked like crap last night. Sorry. So I do think that even happens at the NFL level, too, where you have a big win. You see the next team on the schedule. You go, oh, we're the Dolphins. Oh, we own them. Connor just said it. We've won 6 in a row. We've won like 19 out of 20. Blah, blah, blah. We're going to do that. I think some of that comes into play a little bit. I do. And it showed a little bit. So I don't know if I look at it as lack of effort, but just lack of intensity and want and will to going into the football game, I think, is a little bit more of what it was. And, Miami played with a chip on their shoulder. Buffalo played like they were entitled to win the football game just because they're Buffalo and Miami's not as good as they are.
I think lost in this, too. For Devon Achane, he forced a career-high 11 missed tackles. He was amazing in this one. Mike McDaniel is still one of the best run-game coordinators in the sport. And I know nobody likes to say it because he's weird at the podium, and maybe he's not a great head coach. I'm not arguing that.
I hear you.
But as a run-game coordinator, something that he did with Kyle Shanahan for so long, the guy could do it with the best of them, and this was on display against the Bills.
I agree. This is where I'm going to continue to fight for Mike McDaniel. I don't think he should be fired. I don't. I mean, Mike McDaniel, the whole league has stolen his offense the last 4 years. I mean, everybody's like, oh, damn, that's cool. Whoa, that motion right there, we never did it that way. I mean, everybody. He's been a trendsetter. They've been one of the most fun teams to watch in football in his tenure because of his offense. He needs to run the ball more. That's what the numbers would bear out and tell you, right? I mean, this is just a basic way. I think we went over this a few weeks ago a little bit here. But when your yards per play in running is tied for 9th in football, right? Okay, so you're 9th in football there, but then your attempts per game, okay, running the ball are 28th. That's not right. That is what I can blame Mike McDaniel on and go, you're not running the ball enough. You're too good at it. You're getting too enamored with, let me throw another 6-yard pass to Waddle or some crazy motion when Tyreek Hill's in there. Let me do that. So I'm with you all the way. But, yeah, I'm a fan of him and what he does on that side of the ball. And, again, I think he's with a quarterback that's limited. So that's what I throw that on there too. And, yeah, that was an impressive win yesterday. But I think we're going to see them rely on this run game a little bit more as we go down the stretch here. And hopefully they do. But as we know, Buffalo, when you can run the ball, they have problems. And off of that, this is what's people don't realize. Like, the Miami passing scheme is more surgical and schematically attacks you more than the Chiefs. As we've talked about with the Chiefs before, the Chiefs are kind of like, we just send everybody across the field this way, and Mahomes will just dance around and make it happen. It's not necessarily like, hey, we want to boom.
Right.
It's not always that way. Where McDaniels does all this stuff that stresses you and the motions and all that, and then he widens out 3 people in a zone to sit somebody in the middle, and he's creative that way to where that's more of a problem, I think, for Buffalo's defense as compared to dealing with Kansas City and their passing offense, and then they don't really run the ball the same either.
Right. What we went over last week, where the longer Mahomes was holding the ball, the less that was there.
Exactly.
It seemed like where Miami, that's the last way they want to play.
Exactly right.
The ball
right.
wants to be out in
exactly
space.
right. And so that's a different way of having to defend a football team, as far as the style of it, for sure.
The homies weighing in. Leasing Dust says the Dolphins taking away Papa Shot is what made the difference. What do you think of when coaches pull out the games from the locker room?
Yeah,
like the ping pong table. I think it's one of the funniest things in sports.
I mean, it is. It is. And listen, I'm old school, Connor. Like, I'm one that's like, well, why the hell were they ever in there?
Right.
That's
exactly.
what I want to say. Like, why the hell were they in there? What are we doing? I don't believe in that. I mean, again, I grew up in Bill Parcells' New York Giants. I, as the son of the quarterback who won the Super Bowl, was barely allowed in the locker room after the game, right? I mean, my dad would be like, okay, come in.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, hide me, right? Saturday walkthrough, he'd be like, go sit up in the stadium up there and we'll play after, right? So that's the school I came from.
Yeah.
I of course, played for John Gruden. There was no games in the locker room. We went to a new facility my last year there when I lost the spleen and all that, and the new facility had a game room, and we didn't start out good. And, of course, he unplugged them all. Because we'd be getting ready to go out to practice and everybody be sitting there racing on the car or fighting Street Fighter.
Thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't love that to begin with. And I wouldn't have games in my locker room.
Arthur Healy said the Bills really needed to add someone at the deadline. I agree with this take.
Yeah.
And Brandon Beane, there was a report that came out that they even called some teams in the division. Quinnen Williams, I think, was on there.
Williams, Jalen Waddle, I believe.
Here's my problem with that.
Right.
Why would you ever believe that was going to happen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're the Miami Dolphins. We'll send our one of our best players to the Bills. The Jets. Yeah, we'll send Quinnen Williams to the Bills.
I mean, and if they do, they're going to make you pay a premium for being in the division.
200% tax.
Definitely.
I don't – that just doesn't sit well like with what we tried. Well, that's not the method of trying. You need to get a little bit more creative. Why'd Rashid Shaheed go for a 4 and a 5?
Exactly right. Right. I'm with you there.
I just don't get it.
Again, what you're hearing and what you said, Arthur Healy, I mean, this is what I've been saying, and I've been saying about this football team really for 3 or 4 years now. Again, a lot of respect for Buffalo, but I'll say it, and again, not only do I ever see teams that lose 30-13 to a 2-7 team go to the Super Bowl too, I just go when you have to name superstars on a football team and you only get 2 people, I go, that's not a Super Bowl team. I'm sorry. Josh Allen, James Cook, not a Super Bowl team. If we go through the Super Bowl teams of the last 10 years, I'm going to go keep going. We're going to go down a list, and you're going to go, damn, there was 4 or 5 on the offense and 4 or 5 on the defense. I forgot about that. And that to me is where the rubber doesn't meet the road with Buffalo.
So now the Bills trail New England by 1.5 games in the AFC East.
Yeah.
So this division, I mean, obviously not wrapped up, but you look at the upcoming next 3 for each. The Bills, it's not easy sledding compared to New England.
Not
Bucks
at all.
At Houston, at the Steelers, compared to New England, home against the Jets, at the Bengals, home against the Giants.
That's what I mean.
And I mean, we don't know the status of Jackson Dart right now. It didn't look great yesterday.
But we're comfortable saying that they're better than all 3 teams, the Patriots, who they're going to play.
They're favored right now by 11.5 against the Jets. They'll probably be favored potentially by double digits against the Bengals.
Yep.
And they'd probably be favored by 7.5, 8.5 with a Jackson Dart-led Giants, which is not a guarantee.
Right. And you could flip it to the other side, and you look at the Bills and go, man, the Bucks, that's a coin flip game, right?
Without
the Bucks
a doubt.
are a better team. If it wasn't in Buffalo, I'd go the Bucks should be favored. Houston, it won't be easy there. I mean, Houston, my thoughts on the defense. Again, everybody, you saw it yesterday. I mean, they're incredible. I mean, they spotted Jacksonville a 17-point lead with just messing things up and then just put the whammy on them. The Steelers game is going to be even for Buffalo. And then they still got New England. They still got the Eagles on their – so, I mean, there's losses out there for Buffalo. For my money, New England is in firm control of the AFC East right now.
It would take a pretty shocking game in one of those next 3 for you to be like, oh, man, New England and Buffalo now is it's going to come down to the end.
Right.
New England basically just has to take care of their business, which is tough to do in the NFL right now. The Berlin game, the Colts beat the Falcons 31-25 in overtime. The Colts now 8-2 this season. They were 8-9 last season, so they already have 8 wins through 10 games this year. This was the Jonathan Taylor game again, Chris. 244 rushing yards. He had the big one. He scored 3 times. The 83-yarder was the longest run in the NFL this season. Couple fun historic numbers here. His second career game with 200-plus rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. That's tied for the most in NFL history alongside Derrick Henry, Adrian Peterson, and Jim Brown. Good company to be in.
Yep.
He's the 4th player all-time to have 5-plus games in a single season with 3-plus touchdowns. The company of that is LaDainian Tomlinson in 2006. He did it 6 times. Marshall Faulk in 2000, greatest show on turf, 5 times. Chuck Foreman in 1975, 5 times. His 17 touchdowns this season put him on pace for almost 29. The NFL record, of course, is 31 from LaDainian Tomlinson. And the final one that everyone knows, franchise record 66 career rushing touchdowns, which passed Edgerrin James.
Yeah.
What else is left to say?
Exactly. He's a special player. That's why he needs to be right up there with Stafford, Drake May, whoever else you want to throw in the MVP conversation right now. But he's one of the top 2 or 3. I don't think there's any denying that, certainly. And then in a game, right, in a day where Daniel Jones was a little careless with the football, right? Whether it's the interception or, fumbling 3 times. Damn, keep 2 hands on the ball, Danny Dimes. Geez. But at least they recovered 2 of them, but he did lose 1. Phenomenal game. Weird game, really. Weird game. A game where you went the Colts totally controlled the first half of the football game.
Yeah.
And they were losing 14-13. Outgained them by 100 yards, had the ball for over 5 minutes more than the Atlanta Falcons did. But between turnovers, I didn't agree with Shane Steichen, some of the decisions he made yesterday. I did not. Again, you're coming off a bad week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. You turned the ball over. You didn't do all those things. The first drive of the game, we got let me just make sure here. It was a 4th and 2. Just kick the field goal in my money. Get something positive, right? Well, this was a defensive struggle type of football game. It wasn't I know it says 31-25 at the end of the day, but it was, 17-16 with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I just didn't understand that. And then he gets to 4th and 5 where he's on fringe. I'm not sure if my field goal kicker can make it here. And they kick the field goal, and that's the one time I'm going, I think you should go for it. You're in no man's land. But then the second half gets down there close again in field goal range and goes for it again, and they don't get it, and they turn the ball over on downs. Now, I know he might have been scarred by the missed extra point early on in the football game. Maybe that's it. But I don't believe you can, play that way. I really don't. So I didn't love, I guess, some of the game management. But regardless, as we know, their offense just has so many answers, and they answered in some big ways in the clutch moments late in the football game and made some big plays.
Daniel Jones, 7 sacks. He has been sacked 12 times in his last 2 games. Of course, the bloody lip on the game-tying drive. It feels like he's just holding the ball a little longer than we're accustomed to seeing.
I think that, this Falcon defense can play some D. They're fast, especially in the back end.
They're aggressive.
They are. They're aggressive. And, they play that little bit of that, what I always talk about. There are a lot of zones where they pass people off and do stuff like that, so they're really good at it. I think that's probably gave them some problems to where a few times Daniel thought, oh, wait, I'm going to have somebody. And it's like, oh, gosh, no, there's a guy there. So it hasn't worked smoothly. And we saw Pittsburgh last week played a good game against them. There's no other way to say that. And, they kind of brought the fight to Indianapolis Colts, and they never answered the bell. But regardless, I'm still not worried about the Colts. I'm not. I know people go, oh, there was some Danny Dimes Giants stuff we saw. Is it about to happen? I would say no, it does not happen. And he still made some huge plays and throws, especially the 3rd and 21 scramble where he bloodied his lip and got 19 yards. That was the moment maybe of the year for Daniel Jones, because then he makes the 4th and 2 throw to Tyler Warren in the flat where he was covered pretty tightly, and he put the ball on the money as he was getting pressure, and that at least set them up for the game-tying field goal there to send it in overtime. And then, as we know, they put him away.
It was an example of him making plays, not necessarily just playing.
Yeah, not guard. Exactly right. You're right. He wasn't as surgical yesterday, but he did make some plays, especially early on, throwing the ball to Alec Pierce, and we know Tyler Warren, and they just have a lot of answers on that side of the ball. And we'll see where it goes. Sauce Gardner should have had a pick
he
6.
Dropped one, which has kind of, unfortunately, been a little bit of a story with him at times.
Yeah, might have got beat on the he got beat on the 2-point conversion, right? But, again, it's early, so it's good to see. And as we know, the Colts aren't going anywhere. They're one of the best teams in the NFL.
For the Falcons, it's the opposite. 4th straight loss after they started 3-2. It just feels like this season is starting to get a little off the rails.
I hate the offense. There's no other way to say it.
We say it every week. There's no rhyme or rhythm.
There's really not. There's not much to it there. To go 0 for 8 on 3rd down with a guy like Michael Penix and the weapons you have, to go, what was he, 12 for 28? Are you kidding me? 12 for 28? The Colts defense, it ain't that good. Come on. The Colts defense is good, but this is a team we're talking about that's 25th in football and pass defense. That to me is crazy and speaks more to Atlanta's problems than really good Colts defense.
You want to bring up our favorite reoccurring theme? How many play action dropbacks do you think Penix had? So he had 34 total dropbacks.
34 total dropbacks. I feel like I didn't see many. I'm going to say 3. maybe 4.
He did have 10.
He did.
But what's infuriating is
what is it?
6 of 10.
Right.
He averaged 11 yards per attempt on the play action dropbacks. I know we don't like utilize PFF's grades as gospel, but they still even said he had a 91 passing grade when he was in play action. And
I don't understand.
I agree because 6 of 10, 11 yards per attempt.
Right.
I just don't understand. Like it's every week that this is what he is best in.
It should be like almost every other play.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
You have Bijan Robinson.
Exactly right. You go through the Rams sometimes and you go, I could watch Matthew Stafford drop back and it's a play action fake 9 out of 10 throws. Like, why not? I don't get that either. There is no rhyme, reason, rhythm to the offense. I'm with you all the way there. And that's a little concerning for the Atlanta Falcons.
The desperate Ravens take care of business against the Vikings. 27-19. Felt like this game was even further away than that score. Baltimore now has a 3-game winning streak after they started 1-5, which a lot of people kind of saw coming, including the sportsbooks. 4 of their next 5 games are against teams with losing records. They're 3-2 when Lamar Jackson plays the whole game this season. Of course, 1-3 in other games. Marlon Humphrey said that's been the big key. The mindset shift of even though we have Lamar Jackson, let's give him a smoke break. Let's give him an off day. He's bailed us out so many times. How about we do it? That's been a big difference.
Yeah, I think so. It's complete team football right now. I don't feel like Lamar is totally 100% himself yet. I even got the sense, like we talked about last week with the Miami Dolphins game, but in this one here, where, I don't feel like he's running 100%. I think he's still, like, guarding it a little bit. I got, like, he's over 90%, but I don't feel like it's like go, rockets up your ass, Lamar Jackson quite yet. And it was a day where, they were on the ropes a little bit early, right? I mean, they were. JJ made some big throws early on in the football game. Baltimore early on in the game couldn't get anything going in the pass game. They had to have a few drops on their first field goal drive where you went, ooh, that might have gone down to the 1-yard line or whatever else. But the pass game, and we know, can be a struggle playing the Minnesota Vikings and all the things they do there. So there wasn't. But they hung around. That's the big thing. Hung around. The defense played good, made stops, and they slowly just chipped away at the lead. And you kind of said it. I mean, the moment of, like, get the field goal before the half, right? They get the interception, right? And then that makes it 12-10. So, I mean, it's 10-3, and they get a field goal to make it 10-6, and then get another field goal to make it 10-9 right before the half. Then get the ball to start the third quarter, go down on a field goal drive, come away with no touchdown, and then they fumble the kick return. Right. Minnesota the next drive. And then they scored the touchdown. You felt like that little moment there of end of the second quarter, early third quarter was the moment where Minnesota could have been like, no, we're going to take control of this football game or make it really hard on you. And instead it went the other way around to where you felt like from that moment on, Baltimore kind of controlled the football game.
Minnesota's now 0-4 in games following a win this season. J.J. McCarthy with 2 picks, just shot throws down the field. We saw Malachi Starks finally make a really big play. That was good to see on the back end for Baltimore. J.J. on the season, 5 touchdown passes, 6 interceptions this season. It's the classic case of a developmental quarterback, Chris. You see big throws and big moments, and then you see moments where he's just not necessarily ready to be out there, I think, at times.
Yeah.
That's how can you not expect that?
I get this. Again, this is where we are. He's a rookie.
Right, absolutely.
Like, he's not just going to come in and explode and take over the league. They needed to be like we saw last week with Detroit. They need a little team effort help. He can't be the leading rusher, okay? J.J. McCarthy, leading rusher. Yeah, okay, you're going to beat the Ravens like that. Good luck. And then, okay, as a rookie quarterback now, you got to throw the ball all the time? And Baltimore's healthy as hell on the defensive side of the ball and pretty damn good? Yeah. The special teams made no plays. They did last week against Detroit. The defense wasn't bad yesterday, but it certainly wasn't as good as it was against Detroit. So, like, that's the way they're going to have to play. They can't expect it to be like, oh, J.J. McCarthy's going to go out here and throw for 350 every week and he'll cover the holes. He's not ready for that. And, yeah, he's got some holes in his game. We've talked about it. He's got to tighten his release a little bit. It's too long. Yeah. Balls being batted down are going to be a thing with J.J. McCarthy because everybody sees the windup, right? So that's going to be a problem. He's got to have more versatility in throws. And then I think you couple that with just that I don't think they can just unveil their full offense because he is young and still learning. that hurts them a little bit. So, yeah, Minnesota needs to win as a team. It can't just be Kevin O'Connell and the quarterback finding 25-yard completions to Justin Jefferson all day long.
The Ravens blitzed over 31% of the time against the pass in this game, so they planned on heating them up a little bit and kind of speeding things up for them.
I would think there's that, and then also maybe looking at it and going, hey, they're not doing a lot on the offensive side of the ball. We feel pretty good with their route tree, right? So there's that aspect too. And Baltimore being healthy on the defensive side of the ball just gives them confidence to call whatever they want. And one of those interceptions, right? The deep one, and I know they were both deep. It was a Marlon Humphrey one.
Yeah.
I mean, that looked like it was on Justin Jefferson. If you look at the reaction of the team, I think it was on Justin. He fell, but I think even before that, there was no safety in the middle of the field.
Right.
And I don't think he saw the coverage right. And I think he was kind of just like, I'll take this guy out of here. And it was like, no, you're the number one read now. With no safety in the middle of the field, you're the guy. And I don't know if he stepped on the gas pedal the whole way. Because when he got off the sideline, everybody kind of patted him like, hey, you messed up, but it's okay. Even JJ went by him. It was like, it's okay, man. And that just gave me the sense that, yeah, he didn't quite diagnose it the way he should have.
Let's take a look at the AFC number 1 seed odds as we kicked things off today, talking the Patriots win and the Bills loss now. So the Patriots at 8-2 have the shortest odds, plus 210, as well as the Colts. No surprise, they're tied at the top there as well. Then the Broncos at plus 400. They just keep getting away with it. They find ways to win.
Right.
The Bills are the opposite right now. They're a surprising 6-3, plus 700. The Chiefs all the way down the board because they're only 5-4. Of course, they can get hot and go on a run here, as can the Ravens. But yeah, I mean, as it stands right now, Chris, the markets agree with you that it's the Patriots and the Colts kind of in a league of their own.
I think I look at it that way. I mean, I look at it and I think I'd be kind of shocked if it weren't the Patriots, the Colts, or the Broncos. I think those three teams are it. Again, I don't think the Chiefs are as good as they've been in years past. I think they're going to lose another game or two, maybe 3. I don't think that's shocking. I've kind of been saying that all year. I think this is a 10-7, 11-6 type of year for the Kansas City Chiefs. So, yeah, when I look at it from that standpoint, I like the odds of those teams. And you look at the AFC and where we are, right? I feel good. The Colts, the Broncos, the Patriots, like we just talked about, yeah, they're going to make the playoffs. I feel good about that, right? Chargers certainly helped themselves out about it. And I would say, yes, very likely to make the playoffs. I still feel like the Bills, very likely to make the playoffs. The question is going to be, for me, is the Steelers, who I think will lose the division ultimately to the Baltimore Ravens.
I agree.
Right. And then Jacksonville, who's the number 7 seed right now, who we know is just not playing very good football, is in trouble. So this fight for this last spot, right, where it's going to come down to Jacksonville, Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and Houston. And I don't even going to say Baltimore because I'm giving them the division and they're going to be in it. They're going to be in it. Those 4 teams, I think, are going to fight for that last spot in a big-time way. And that's going to be the most interesting thing in the AFC.
Well, in that world, I think you'd take the Chiefs 10 out of 10 times.
Probably, yes.
I have no idea what Jacksonville or Pittsburgh I'm getting every week.
No, I go the Chiefs or Houston, right? Because I know what I'm getting from Houston. I know what I'm getting from them. Yeah. Right? They're finding their way on offense a little bit. They are that. Again, you saw it yesterday. And if they had C.J. Stroud, I think they would, Davis Mills, again, he just hasn't played in a while. He struggled a little early in the football game. But, yeah, they're the one other team with Kansas City where I go, they can get in and they can be real annoying if they do get in. And those are 2 teams I kind of got circled in this conversation.
The Patriots definitely have the softest schedule of this bunch. Right. They play the Jets twice. They still play the Dolphins and Bills again. Of course, the Bills won't be easy, but they play the Bengals. They play the Giants. The biggest game is probably the Ravens game in Week 16. So
Week 16.
Yeah, December 21st, that game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, ultimately, New England, there's just not a lot of losses on this game. Like, they've gotten through beating the Bucs was really big. Beating the Bills once.
Exactly.
Because even if you split with the Bills, you still might win the division.
Right. No, it's all favored that way. Their schedule gave them the opportunity to get the new coaching, the new scheme, and get their feet underneath them a little bit. To now they're in the part of the year where I don't give a shit what the schedule would be.
Sure.
I'd be like, yeah, the Patriots are going to be a pain in the butt. Whoever it is, you can put anybody you want up there. But yeah, it is very favorable, and you certainly don't. the Bills and the Ravens games are the only two you look at to go, ooh, they could lose that. They're better than everybody else on their schedule.
Nicholas Wheatley said, old AFC guard is back. Pats, Colts, Broncos, Steelers with the Ravens right behind them.
Isn't
That
that
is
crazy? We're back to 2004 or 5 again. Look at 2007. It's amazing. You're right. It is back, Nicholas. Good call by you.
All right, we're going to take our first break. When we're back, Give Me the Headlines is coming up, including a dominant win by both the Rams and the Seahawks.
DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the app and use promo code CORNERBACK when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours.
It's time for Give Me the Headlines presented by Hyundai. Our last game of this segment is going to be Lions Commanders, and we want the homies to weigh in for the headline.
On, homies. Give us something creative. I can't always be Johnny Creative guy over here. All right?
I'll read all of them off for Lions Commanders, but before we get there, we got two other great games. How about the Rams, Chris, beating the Niners 42-26? What's the headline for this game?
Stafford, because he threw 4 touchdowns. That's right. I mean, hey, he's in a group. 3 games in a row
right now.
Right? 3 games in a row, 4 touchdown passes. I don't think he's thrown an interception in any of those games.
First player in NFL history to do that.
It's incredible.
3 straight regular games.
I feel like their team a little bit it's almost like a college where they're like, when we're going to showcase Matthew Stafford, it's unbelievable he's never won an MVP or even been in the conversation. We're going to make sure that happens this year. And I feel like they're good enough and McVay's cool enough to go, yeah, we're on the 1-yard line. We could probably run it in, but let's give Stafford the touchdown pass, right?
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
I love it.
And he deserves some cheapies because he's given back more than he's received in his career as far as like saving teams with great throws and great touchdown passes. I said this earlier today. I'll say it again. Matthew Stafford is one of the least talked about all-time great quarterbacks in the history of football. I mean, one, from what he's done, right? He's a Hall of Famer in my mind, without a doubt. And then talent-wise is right there with anybody in the history of football. It's an all-time arm. It's an all-time arm. I mean, it really is. Okay, I might not say it's Elway or Josh Allen or Rodgers or Favre in their prime. But, I mean, when I say it's a tick-off, it's a tick-off. I mean, it's special, right? He can throw it with power. He can flick it with his wrist, right? He can throw it sidearm. He invented the no-look pass. It's Matthew Stafford. I know Mahomes gets all the credit because he does it kind of a cooler way. But Matthew Stafford threw a no-look touchdown pass yesterday. He does it on the regular. He did one last week too. So I just, for me, and I see, some quarterbacks that are in the Hall of Fame, other quarterbacks that are trying to get in the Hall of Fame, and I go, man, they're not Matthew Stafford. They're not. And the Rams, they were on fire yesterday, and the Rams look like a real legit Super Bowl football team right now.
4th straight win, all by double digits.
Right.
Devontae Adams has 6 receiving touchdowns in his last 3 games. He did leave in the 4th quarter with an oblique injury, but it sounds like
hopefully it's not bad.
Yeah, it
he
sounds
just did
like
a
it's
shake
okay.
at the line of scrimmage, and then he held himself, and it was like, oh man, something in his back or whatever went up, and it was the oblique there.
Yeah, it's the Rams are absolutely rolling right now. Another thing on Stafford's arm, I think he gets bonus points for how it's aged. It's the same arm, I feel like, when he was in his 20s.
Definitely.
That's not the case for
That's
everyone.
when I say an all-time arm, that's what I mean. Like it's not going like Brady or like Mahomes or even Rodgers.
Rodgers still has a great
exactly
arm.
right.
Yeah.
These are guys that if they're in their wheelchair at 70, they're going to be able to. You're still going to go, whoa, we can throw the ball still. Holy crap!
Should make a league like that.
It's just that they're built like that. Their motions are built for it, right? And that's where they're like. Sometimes I've had this conversation where Peyton Manning, where people go, well, what about his arm? I go, yeah, his was a good arm, but it wasn't an all-time arm, and it definitely wasn't an arm that was going to last, right? Again, I talk about this a lot, and you know it. We talk about it in the draft. Like Mahomes, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, the throwing motion was more like this. Peyton Manning was real like old school traditional. The ball was real high up here, and he got a high release and, came down straight down, and that doesn't lend itself to great power throwing the football that way. But, damn, I mean, you can't argue the results. But the Rams, again, the way they can run the football, when they have Puka and Devontae Adams in there, right, it just causes so many headaches, how they play them off each other, and it's just too much firepower for a 49er team that's good, but being made look to like it's a little bit better because incredible coaching by Shanahan and Saleh. But they're not in the same class as some of these teams in the NFC right now. They're going to hang around. Maybe they get in the playoffs, but the 49ers are not a Super Bowl caliber football team.
Yeah, I think another clue to the Rams just having their eyes on the big picture. They're getting Blake Corum involved. They're going to keep Kyron a little fresh,
Definitely.
which I love that.
Definitely.
Kyron's been hurt every year of his NFL career.
Right.
It's like, no, we have our eyes set on the prize here. Blake Corum, we're going to get him going.
I think they finally got him where they want. He's lost weight. He's gotten better shape. Right, I think they trust him more that he can make more plays and make some people miss and do that. I think there was a little frustration with him for a little while of just going like, there was a hole there and you got the minimum, right? And I think now he's starting to go, wait, I made that guy miss. I'm broken arm tackle. Watch out. He's starting to look like Kyron Williams, even in the uniform.
It's the same guy.
Exactly right. It's to me, I think he's finally got his body and realized what he's got to be a real professional in the NFL.
I agree. I know coming out of college, he was battered. Like the one thing teams looked at were like, he's pretty beat up. Maybe actually resting has brought him back to what he was as a great college player.
And I think he needed to harden his body up a little bit, right? And I'm not trying to, I've been around Blake Corum. He's an awesome dude. But, was he a little bit chubby and not maybe necessarily as rocked up as you see most running backs are rocked up?
His teammate. We had Kyron at the Super Bowl. I was like,
he's made of steel.
He looks like just a shrunken down linebacker.
He's made of steel.
Yeah,
exactly right. And that's where I think Corum had to adjust himself a little bit for the NFL.
For the Niners, this is the most points allowed, 42, and the largest loss of this season, a 16-point differential. I mean, I watch this team, Chris, and it's a team that's just run out of people.
That's it.
That's kind of my thought. I don't watch them and go, why are they doing that or why are they doing this? It's a game of talent.
They're trying to. It's more like, how are they doing this?
Yes.
How are they doing
Oh, Mac
that?
Jones threw for what?
I know. I mean, Mac Jones, what did he have yesterday again? Like 4 incompletions, 6 incompletions?
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing some really good things. But, there's just not enough playmakers, and then they're not the type of team that can, fumble the ball on a drive with Juwan Jennings. That was a big moment in the football game that hurt them. So, yeah, they got to kind of play a perfect way. But they're a good team that's going to be a pain in the butt, but I think that's all they are, and they're just not in the same class as, some of these better teams in the NFC.
The Seahawks steamroll the Cardinals 44-22. At one point, this game was even more out of hand. What do we got here, Chris?
Deja vu all over again. I mean, that's a Yogi Bearism for anybody out there, and some have, said I remind them of Yogi Bear because I mess up the English language probably more than he.
But
did.
in an entertaining way.
In an entertaining way, I guess, yes, with my mixing of whatever phrases and everything else. But I mean, I think it's incredible where we have. Knight 48, right? I can't remember his first name. Yeah, the guy who strip sacks.
Oh, the linebacker.
Knight 48, Tyrese, excuse me. Way to go, Pete. 2 strip sacks, right? And then he knocks it out both times, and the same guy, DeMarcus Lawrence, picks up 2 fumbles and runs for a touchdown. Like, I don't remember that ever happening.
It is an oddity.
That is crazy.
Yes.
And that's why I said deja vu all over again, because, I mean, it was almost carbon copy plays going different directions where you're like, wait, Terrace Knight made the strip, and I thought I was watching a replay the first time.
Yes.
I was like, wait, is this a replay? And they were like, no, they just did it again. And I was like, what? Because we were kind of getting dressed at that moment. But you think everybody's ready to believe now?
Oh, my goodness.
You think everybody's ready to believe?
This is a statement first half.
Right? I mean, this is, again, this is one of my pride and joys because I feel like I've been saying this for a few weeks, and I have a little bit of a man crush on them as a team where I just – I watch them and I go, what's not to like? Tell me the weakness of the Seahawks right now. Tell me what it is. I mean, the only weakness right now that I think people can legitimately come up with is, will Sam Darnold be the same in the playoffs?
Well, that's everyone.
Right?
It's
that's
the
the
Daniel
only
Jones thing.
Exactly.
The Colts.
Right.
It's like, oh, well, when Daniel Jones reveals himself, the Colts will lose.
The Colts will lose. Yeah, I don't know if I believe in all that mumbo jumbo.
But that's also not even fair because if Sam Darnold loses to Matthew Stafford in the playoffs, is everyone gonna be like, see, I told you so?
I know.
That's not fair either.
Idiots will say that for sure. And it's like,
ridiculous.
No, the Rams are a Super Bowl team, and he's awesome quarterback. But you look at Seattle, and you just go, one, they continue to get better at running the football. I mean, they're legit there. We know they're the most explosive passing team in football. And then the defensive side of the ball, I'm in love with their defense. I said this to Florio earlier today. I was like, when I watch, film on Monday and Tuesdays before we do our pod and all that, when I get to Seattle and I've watched a few teams,
right?
well, I sit there and go, damn, they look like they're in fast forward. I just watched the Steelers or the Bills, and damn, Seattle looks like, is the game in fast forward? They're moving at a different speed than the other teams I just watched. So they jump off the screen that way. Plus the size they have on the D line. Seattle is legit, can win the Super Bowl. And that was that was dominant. Nobody's done that to the Cardinals this year. The Cardinals have been the ultimate hang around.
Yeah.
You're going to have to put us away late. And they just kind of put the whammy on them right from the start in this one.
Yeah, the Cardinals are in dogfights with bad teams, and they're in dogfights with really good teams.
I know.
They're just the same team almost every week, especially with Jacoby Brissett. It felt like, now they have a little bit more of a floor.
Yep.
But no, they were steamrolled the second they got off the bus.
Definitely were.
Yesterday.
Yep. Seattle's a complete football team. They're one of the best in the league. We all got to get used to it.
JSN, over 1,000 yards already. It's just a remarkable season for him.
Two-headed monster running back.
Yeah, they could do it all.
The O-line's actually opening up holes and doing that. As I've always said, I think Sam Darnold is perfect for this offense because I think it simplifies life for him a little bit. It's play action. It's 1 to 2 to just check it down, or it's 1 to 2 and just run. Or it's like the way they set up the offense a little bit is different than Minnesota, where it might have been like, look at the deep comeback over here, then pat the ball twice and wait for Justin Jefferson on the 30-yard crosser, and then Addison's going to come on the 20-yard in cut behind that. And to me, that led him to holding the ball, patting the ball, get sacked, stay on a read too long.
Yeah. This
one kind of presents itself the way Kubiak, and it's the Shanahan scheme, even in their drop back pass game, it's like, hey, look for an 8-yard throw here, and then we got somebody coming into your vision who's also at 8 yards right here. So it lends itself to real quick, just get it out. And that's, to me, what Sam Darnold is really good at. And then the play-action pass is the same way, to where there's not a lot you got to sit there and pat the ball. It's like, is 1 and 2 open? If they're not, then it's oh shit, figure something out, right? And I think he's perfectly comfortable in that environment.
The Rams and the Seahawks now tied atop the NFC West at 7-2, and Seattle plays at the Rams next week.
I know, that's
potential game of the year on the NFC side of things.
We got 2 NFC championship previews next week. We got Lions-Eagles on Sunday Night Football. We'll be there on the field.
Nice.
And then we're going to have Rams-Seahawks on the 4 o'clock window. That, yes, of those 4 teams, any 4 of them can be in the NFC Championship. So I'm pumped for that for sure.
Speaking of those Lions, they blow the doors off what's left of the Commanders, 44-22. What do you got here, Chris?
Cover your mouth. They could steal the plays. Right? A little play on Dan Campbell's Applebee's commercial, right? Because he called the plays
now in real life.
Yeah. I mean, is he listening to the pod? Did he hear us on the pod last week on last Tuesday and go, hey, the offense isn't the same as it was with Ben Johnson.
Right.
They don't move.
Spice.
There's not as much spice. There's not as much pre-snap movement, shifts, creativity, and all of it.
Who did we say they need to get involved if they want to be their best version of themselves?
Jamison Williams.
Boom. What did you see? On one drive, it was just him.
I mean.
The whole drive.
Exactly. I loved it. I love ones, first off, the way he handled the situation, right? He did a really good job of just, in the post-game press conference, just kind of explaining it, doesn't throw anybody under the bus.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm the head coach. I want to jumpstart us. We need a jumpstart. So, yeah, and I love that. And, of course, he's got great feel for it. And if he's going to go down, he's going down his way. And that's what I love about Dan Campbell. And I think we all know, like Amon-Ra St. Brown's he's great. And we know that. But if they get Jamison Williams and when they have Gibbs going, they are as scary as any offense in football because they become those guys that we talk about all the time. They can score anywhere, anytime, any place, from any point in the football field. And that's what we saw yesterday. That was a butt whooping, a true butt whooping. And I'm excited to see what Dan Campbell brings to the table as we go forward here.
Well, we got to hear from him after the game on taking over the offensive play calling.
It was just let's try something a little different, right? Look, I know what I want to do. I know how I want to do it. Now, that being said, this is a collaborative effort now. I mean, I was taking input from John Morton that whole time and the other coaches. So, hey, man, what do you think here? 3rd down. All right, we get into this. 3rd and 7 plus, blah, 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 blah. All right, where are we at? Give me this. So this is all encompassing. Man, we all work together. Coaches did a hell of a job. But I just wanted to change it up a little bit. Let's just see if maybe a different play caller can maybe get us a little rhythm.
I mean, you could see why people want to work for him and respect him.
Definitely.
Doesn't make people look bad.
Never. He's got the right touch. He's got that way that we talk about with coaches sometimes where he can yell at you, but when he's yelling at you, he really cares about you because he's had real conversations with you and cared about you as a human during the week and checks in on you and does all of that. And I think he coaches everybody the same. So everybody sees that and just goes, okay, we're all for it with this guy. They got a great way. They got a great thing going on there in Detroit because of him, because of, Spielman, as far as what he's doing in the front office and everything there. They got great leaders, and they know the kind of players they want, and they play the kind of players they want, just like their coaches can handle a little criticism or we're going to do this or we're going to change that or whatever else. But, yeah, when they get Jamison going, and like when you see Jahmyr Gibbs going, they're a scary offensive football team. Now, we'll see where it goes going forward. Because as we discussed for about 4 weeks now, Washington's defense is sucky ducky. I mean,
it's not competitive.
It's not, right. So it was very
Sucky
convenient.
ducky.
It was very convenient for Dan Campbell to take over the play calling against the Washington Commanders, right? Hey, I got it this week. I got it this week, guys.
Man.
I got it this week. Hey, we got the Eagles next week. Maybe you'll take over that week. But this week, I got it. No, I mean, because I know he'll continue to do it. But I do worry about Washington a little, right? Just to hit on them for a second.
5 straight losses.
5 straight losses. I don't see a silver lining in their roster. That's what I'll say. Jaden Daniels, yeah. Okay, there's a few players, but D-line, nothing special. They're the oldest team in the NFL. Deebo Samuel, okay, you're giving him a lot of money. I mean, he's not special anymore, right? I know Terry McLaurin's good, but I just look at it and go, man, they're 3-7. They might not win again for the rest of the year. They're that bad. They're going to be picking in the top 5. And then you go, they got more than just one hole to fill. They got a whole lot of holes to fill. And that's where I just big picture thing. It'd be interesting to see what Washington does this offseason.
Yeah, they have a lot of work to do. And even you look at, they gave Javon Kinlaw a lot of money.
They overpaid some guys.
When they did that, I was like, he was the worst player on the Jets last year.
They overpaid some guys where I think the whole league looked at it a little bit and was like, what? I would never give that kind of money to that guy, right? So that's surprising. Even the little splash of the pot to Deebo Samuel. I mean, I just go, why? I mean, have you not watched the 49ers? I don't know what you're looking at. So that is a little surprising there. And you see Deron Payne, he got suspended for his
punch
right hook. That was like, incredible. Holy crap. That was like he winded up and tried to kill him there.
Yeah,
that was a pretty crazy moment in the game.
I'm actually surprised it could have been more.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I
guess it was more of how the punch was taken.
Right.
That it wasn't more.
Yeah,
I think if he hit the floor, it's a 2 game. That's how they judge those things.
It might be.
By the way, maybe we do a deeper look at this throughout the week, but on the surface level, the Lions, what was different under Dan Campbell what was there?
Right.
So they ran 11 personnel over 67% of the time. I would imagine that factored getting J-Mo involved.
Didn't we say this last week? Didn't I say I think they're in 12 personnel too much? I think they're playing into the hands of the defense.
Yes.
At some point, I think 11. They were too late to turn to 11 personnel last week against the Vikings. So this is when you got 3 guys in the pass game that are legit weapons, and really 4 when you add Laporta into it. I think you're scaring a defense a lot more than we put Brock Wright in with Laporta. And now we're a little bit more limited in our formations and the way we can attack you in the pass game. So, I would hope that this is the thing that we see continue going forward.
And they also mixed in a little 21 personnel. They did that 5 times, but they threw out of it 4 of the 5.
Interesting.
So they went with the 2 back, 1 tight end.
We're going to overpower you, and then he drops back
it
with probably a play-action pass and gash you that way.
So maybe something we'll check in, but on the surface level, definitely a little bit of no, we're going to get a little bit more 11 personnel.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to
kind
know.
of be against a Washington team, you can.
Yeah, you can do that too.
You could absolutely
for sure
do that.
Right.
So really interesting.
We got some other headlines here, right?
Yes, the homies are weighing in here. Brian S. said, headline, Capital Punishment Hill.
I like that.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
D. Sauter said, the real Gibbs torches Washington.
That's very good with the Joe Gibbs play there. Very well done. Very well done.
Dr. Ganja, Dan Campbell, Applebee's commercial wasn't an act.
No, it's not anymore. It's real life. That's for sure.
The last one from K. Gemma, Dan Campbell goes full commando on the Commanders, calling plays again.
That would be great. The only thing that would be better than that is him wearing his underwear commando style on the sideline calling plays. That'd be great.
That was Give Me the Headlines presented by Hyundai. We're taking our last break. When we're back, Chris spoke with Caleb Williams after the Bears' big comeback win over the Giants. Our Week 10 recap. The Bears beat the Giants 24-20 in an absolute thriller. But before we break down this game, let's hear from Caleb Williams in his combo with Chris yesterday.
You went to Southern Cal. You're from, Maryland. How's it throwing in the snow in Chicago and the cold and snow and wind and all that?
Yeah, it's good. It's fun. I've played a few snow games in my life and things like that back in Maryland, or playing FBU and things like that, going to Texas or going to Ohio and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's fun. I'd rather have a snow game rather than a rainy game or something like that. But no, it's football. It's football weather. It's football time in Chicago. That's what the Bears are built for, and we got to keep it rolling. Got to keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, so what changed the last two drives of the football game? Must-have-it moments. What changed for you guys in the offense?
Yeah, I would say is that it's must-have-it moments, and in those moments, it's nut up or shut up, and so I think that's what we do. I think that's how we handle it, and we go out there and execute our plays, do our job, and we've come out with the victory these past couple games.
What about your head coach, right? Like, what's his attitude when you guys are kind of struggling and going through some ups and downs on the offensive side of the ball? What's he saying to you?
Keep it going. Keep being consistent. We're right where we need to be. Just do our job. Score points when they're there. Make explosives when they're there, and when they're not, go get the nasty yards and keep us on track.
What do you say to yourself in those moments when the offense is struggling and you're kind of going through those dull moments?
Yeah, I think there's you still do all the things necessary. You go through your reads, you handle business as usual. But when there's a time, it's time to go make a play for the team and get the energy going, get the atmosphere going, and get the momentum going.
I know it's been a learning process, right, with the Ben Johnson offense. Like, where do you feel like you're at overall with everything?
Yeah, I feel good with where I'm at, but I do understand that I've got so much more in the tank. I've got so much more to learn. I've got so much more growth for this team and be able to help this team win ball games.
All right, and then take me in your brain when scramble mode, when it's chaos mode, and you're going you're amazing at getting out of trouble. You're amazing.
Yep. I think those moments, it just comes down to instincts. It comes down to visualization that I do throughout the week, throughout the before the game, the night before the game. In those moments, I think it comes down to just a little bit of lifting and having a strong lower half and be able to break tackles and get out of stuff for the team and go make a play.
What about the touchdown? What'd you see there when it kind of opened up?
The scramble touchdown?
Yeah, the scramble touchdown.
Once I flipped around and got my eyes over Cole, I saw that it was like a corner on him, and then I didn't see any backers. So, offensive line and running back did a good job with the fake and having those guys, flow to the fake, and then from there, didn't see anybody, so I just took off and wanted to go make a play for the guys.
Yeah. All right. I mean, you got more wins this year already than last year. What's the big difference in year one and year two for Caleb Williams?
I would say the belief, within the guys, but also the coaches. I think having been has been big for me. Just the information he provides, just the help that he provides, throughout the week and throughout game day and things like that. So, I think it's been good for us. I feel like we're a two-punch tandem, two peas in a pod. And so, we got to keep growing together. We're going to keep growing together, and we're going to keep winning games.
Awesome, man. Thanks for taking some time with us, man. I appreciate it, man. Keep balling out, all right?
Will
all
do.
right.
Thank you,
dude.
That was Caleb Williams and Chris after a thrilling win. The Bears scored 2 touchdowns in the final 4 minutes. We've seen this act from the Giants just too many times this year.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you still got to give credit. I mean, the Bears are 6-1 in
The Bears are
last 7
fun to
games.
watch. I mean, the Bears are they're kind of must-watch TV because it's a little bit like every game has a little bit of a disaster moment.
Yep.
And then every game has this
Explosive
wow
moments.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, he still makes his as I said last night on Football Night in America, some of his escapes and scrambles were mind-blowing. I mean, mind-blowing. He had and I know you probably were watching other games too and everything else, and you're focused on the Jets big time on a Sunday. He had some I mean, I got to say 6, 7 plays where you're like, he's getting sacked. And then he gets out of it and throws it away, or gets out of it and runs for positive yards, or gets out of it and throws a completion. I think that's what's amazing, right? It was a day here where their offense was not functioning at a high level.
Right.
Like plays that were just systematically there for Ben Johnson and that offense, they were not happening, right? The Giants did a lot of good things. The Giants totally controlled this football game. They're driving. They're got to go up, it looks like 24-7. When Jackson Dart fumbles and gets concussed. Yeah. And that was the turning point of the game. The Bears go on a long, ugly field goal drive to make it 17-10. The Giants go on a field goal drive with Russell Wilson to make it 20-10. And then it was like, I think he got in the mode of like, okay, I guess I got to start making plays here and jumpstart us a little bit.
Look that way.
And get the momentum going. And that's kind of what happened. And he willed himself and the team down there on a 9-play, 91-yard drive to make it 20-17. And again, it wasn't like he threw a screen pass and somebody ran 70 yards or anything like that. It was like, no, it was him making throws, buying time, scrambling, right? It was an incredible drive. And then, of course, he gets the ball at the end of the football game and good field position. And he rips off 4 plays and boom, the scramble, and they score. And it's like, oh my gosh, they're going to win a game where it felt like they got outplayed for 54 minutes of the football game, basically.
Yeah. They absolutely pulled out, not a miracle, but they pulled something out of nothing. It felt like so fast. You blinked and it was like, oh my God, they just did that. And even watching the scramble that won the game on the All-22, like he's just seeing things better where he knows it's cover 1. And he's like, well, that safety's not getting to my angle in time.
Right.
So if I beat the man around the corner, I'm getting to the pylon. And he didn't hesitate. He just took off.
Yep.
And that's where you realize, you've said this a lot, Chris, over the last 8 months, I feel like. He's a lot faster than people realize.
A lot faster, a lot shiftier.
Yeah.
He talked about the weightlifting.
The lower half.
He breaks a lot of arm tackles. I mean, that's the other incredible thing he does. That wasn't the prettiest win, but like we've talked about, the Bears find a way to win football games here right now. And there's something to be said about that. They're going to be a pain in the butt here as we go down the stretch.
On the Giants side of it, it's going the other way. They're 2-4 in games when they have a double-digit lead this season. They have a minus 50-point differential in the fourth quarter and overtime. Obviously, a huge chunk of that is the Denver game, but still, it came up in this game. It came up in the Dallas game.
Yep.
The Jackson Dart side of things, he exits the game in the fourth quarter with the concussion. I mean, what do you want to unpack here from the Giants side, Chris? There is a lot of chatter right now. I like keeping in with the New York bubble.
Yeah.
People are getting a little worried about the protection of
Jackson Dart.
Like, is he being,
overused to save the coach's job?
That's you just said.
Hey, let's quarterback design run because we're desperate. I got to save my job. He gives us the best chance. This is where the organization has to be careful about the coaches and the GM doing things just to save their ass right now and then losing the bigger picture of things for next year or whatever else, right? I know people are calling for Brian Daboll's head. I'd be one to sit here and go, why fire him now? Just let it go play out. Right?
Well, this is the only reason why it would happen. If they think Brian Daboll is a detriment to Jackson Dart's health,
right?
I don't think the Giants want to do this at all.
Yeah.
I think that's the only combo that's probably happening up top is, do we have to do this because we're worried about a guy that looks like the bright future of our franchise,
right?
And the person handling him is putting him in danger.
Getting abused.
It's getting louder here.
Listen, I hear that, and I think that would be the conversation. I think you're right about that. That's the only thing. Now, what I would say, just in sticking up for Daboll, is, hey, Dart's been doing pretty good.
Yes.
He's making plays. There's something there, right? Can they instill in him to protect his body a little bit more is just the big thing. And, can they limit the quarterback design runs? Because when they do that, he does not have the ability to have a governor or an off switch right now to slide or get out of harm's way. I mean, it's amazing how many hits he takes right now, and that does worry me. But I look at it as a whole and go, there's a lot of good stuff being done by Jackson Dart in the offense, and it is because of Brian Daboll, right? Just let's keep that going a little bit. Yeah. Who cares? We're not going to the playoffs. We're not going to win many games. We know that anyways. Why make it more dysfunctional for Jackson Dart coming down the stretch? Who knows? Maybe he'll get hit even more if he's the next guy, whoever takes over. So that's what I would say. But, the Giants are just not a very good football team.
Next up, the Texans beat the Jags in an absolute thriller. Houston outscored Jacksonville 26-0 7-0 in the fourth quarter. This is the largest fourth quarter comeback in franchise history. On the opposite end, the Jacksonville Jaguars, it's their largest blown lead in franchise history. Congrats to Davis Mills. It's his first win since 2022.
Yeah, big time there. I mean, it really was clutch. We know about the Texans. A little bit like your Jets-Browns game here a little bit, where, and the fact that the score was misleading and, it wasn't the Texans playing bad football early on. Davis Mills throws an interception on the third play of the game. They get a field goal. They fumble the ensuing kick return. Short field. Okay, Jaguars got a touchdown. They had to go, what was it, 19 yards? Okay, now you're down 10-0. Not long after that, Parker Washington returns a punt return for a touchdown.
It's not the defense.
Yes. So, it was a little bit of just Houston miscued instead of Jacksonville playing at a high level. But really, from that point on, it started to level out to a degree. Now, did it level out to a degree where I thought they would still come back and win the football game? No. And when the Jaguars went on the drive to make it 29-10, I remember sitting there going, well, that should do it right there. I don't think they can do this with Davis Mills. But ugly, long drive, 13-play, 65-yard drive. Davis Mills, good throws. They kind of still stayed a little bit with the run just to keep them honest. They score 3 and out right away. Houston stops, the defense stops Jacksonville 3 and out. They get the ball again with good field position right around midfield. 6 plays, 51 yards, touchdown. Oh, crap. It was 29-10. Now it's 29-24. 3 and out again by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Boom. And all of a sudden, it's the long drive by Davis Mills and company at the end to, pull ahead in the football game by 1 point, 30-29. And really remarkable. And that's where I just look at them and go, hey, when C.J. Stroud gets back and kind of where the offense, I do think the offense is getting better. I think the pass game is getting better. That's where I give Houston a chance to still get in the playoffs and be a pain in the ass in the AFC.
Some signs of life from the run game, too, with both Woody Marks and a little bit of Nick Chubb as well.
Right.
D'Amico Ryan said after the game, I've never been a part of a game like that. That was so much fun. I love it, but let's not make that close next time. Sunday Night Football, the Chargers, they dominated the Steelers 25-10. I don't even think the 15-point difference does it justice. Justin Herbert sacked 5 times. He was hit with 9 quarterback hits, 12 quarterback pressures.
Yeah.
So now he leads the NFL in times he's been quick pressured.
Yep.
It's 76. The next highest is 60. These are just ridiculous.
Yeah, he's leading the league in how much he gets hit, right?
Yep.
Right.
Unblocked pressures, 38.
Right.
The next highest is. It's also the difference in these. He's
Yeah.
by far the guy that's dealing with the most quick pressure, unblocked pressures, and scramble rush yards. He has 311 rush yards off the scramble. The next highest is 284. But at the end of the day, they find a way, Chris, despite all the injuries and struggles their offensive line has dealt with.
Yeah, it's remarkable. It speaks to their coaching, right? It does that. And I think Collinsworth and Tirico said it last night. In a lot of ways, the Chargers beat the Steelers in their own game. Physical, all right? We'll kind of play it close to the vest. We're not going to mess it up. We think we'll just slowly wear you down that way. The biggest concern with the Chargers is Justin Herbert getting hit so much. Yeah, they can't rely on the run quite the same because of their offensive line and being banged up there. And they're making a lot of plays in the pass game, but for them to win the game, they have to throw the ball right now. And he's been remarkable. Like one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football, Justin Herbert. And it's all on him on the offensive side of the ball. It really is. And and Connor just explained, it's all on him. They're 7-3, and he's the most pressured quarterback in football. It's rare that you have to say those things out loud. Right.
It's like him, number 2's over here.
Right. So that's a rare statement and an alignment of quotes right there to say that. He is phenomenal. And I'll say that on top of that, those receivers are solid. They're good, but nobody's going, oh, gosh, we have to double Ladd McConkey or Keenan Allen or Quentin Johnson. Nobody's doing that. So, again, it's Justin Herbert. Everybody got to start giving him a little bit more credit than we give him. Then on top of that, I'll just say what I said right as we were going off air on Football Night in America. Pittsburgh's got to run the ball. I got to see it to believe it with Pittsburgh running the ball. You got to show me. Everybody just talks like, oh, well, they're playing the Chargers. They're not great on the D-line. I don't care. The Steelers, the Steelers can't run the ball on a consistent level. So, just because the Chargers aren't that good at D tackle doesn't mean that the Steelers just automatically run the ball. The Steelers have played a few teams that don't have good D tackles. They still can't run the ball when they do that. So that was the first thing. And then I said also, man, you can't throw the ball and make a living against the Chargers. And especially, I wanted to be able to elaborate and go, not with that shitty-ass passing offense and Aaron Rodgers throwing 5-yard passes and only throwing about 5 different routes on the whole playbook. That's not going to work against the Chargers, right? So, and then I'm still not sold that Pittsburgh's defense is fixed. I mean, again, their secondary's average, period. The only thing that saves them on that side of the ball is those damn edge rushers that you saw last night. Herbig, Watt, and Alex Highsmith. I mean, they're the whole defense. They are. The D tackles are not good. I mean, damn, backup offensive line for the Chargers is running it down their throat late in the football game. You don't even hear a defensive tackle on the Steelers ever make a play in the run game, ever. Yeah, so the Steelers are they're not very good. I don't expect them to make the playoffs. I was not sold that last week fixed their problems. You know that.
Right.
And, yeah, that was just a pitiful display. Aaron Rodgers, what did he go? 16 of 31?
Well, do you want to hear the real stats?
Yeah, tell me.
I mean, because let's take away the
Right.
final garbage time touchdown, which was the most garbage time of a drive I've ever seen.
What were the stats on the garbage time drive?
Before the drive?
Right, okay. Good.
10 of 23, 76 yards,
Right.
no touchdowns, 2 picks, a 15.9 passer rating. That would have been a career low.
Right.
He was 0 for 5 when under pressure. He had just 1 pass against the blitz on 31 attempts.
Yeah, it's
there's just nothing.
And then and on top of that, like just bad body language. Like be a
Very
leader,
bad.
be positive.
Yeah.
Stop yelling at everybody when it's their fault, and then not yelling at yourself when it's your fault. I just get sick of that a little bit.
I mean, maybe it's just kind of getting to the end here.
Well, it is. This is the last year. It's it.
When I say getting to the end, I don't like. What's the end of the season?
Oh, I worry about it. You know, again, I said this as I was watching the game last night. I was just like, he's so in his head about everything. To me, that's what it is. Oh, I got to be perfect with the throw. Oh, I got to do this. Oh, I don't want to get hit. Oh, I don't want to be blamed and throw the interception. It's like all of that's in his head. And it's just like, hey, would you just freaking let it loose and go play? And stop? Do you think Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are thinking about that when they drop back to pass? Like, oh, gosh, are they going to blame me? Is my completion percentage, is my quarterback interception touchdown ratio going to be okay? I mean, it's like I feel like that's all that goes through his head. Who are they going to blame if this doesn't go complete? It's just like that's not a way to play quarterback. It's not a way. And, of course, he's hijacked the offense, too, as usual. So, again, we don't see any effective throws down the middle of the field. It's like
DK Metcalf is almost a non-factor.
He's a non-factor. If we can't hit him on a slant or a back shoulder, we can't hit him, right? It can't. Or if I buy some time, maybe he'll be open down the field. But, yeah, just it's a bad display there right now. And, yeah, I don't have much faith in the Steelers. And you heard me say that last week. The Chargers are a playoff team. I don't know if I view them anything more than that, but a playoff team who will be a pain in the butt to see come in town with Justin Herbert and that pass defense.
Steelers are going to have to start scoring some points because their next 6 are the Bengals, Bears, Bills, Ravens, Dolphins, who can score.
Definitely.
And the Lions.
All those teams can score. You're right.
All 6 of them.
All 6 of them. Exactly right. They might not be the greatest teams in total, but those Bengals and Bears, they can score points, so you better watch out. Agreed with you there. I think it continues to go downhill for the Steelers as we go forward here.
A tough bump in the road here for the Panthers. A really disappointing loss against the Saints, 17-7. Tyler Shuck is the first Saints rookie quarterback to win a start since 1981. That was Dave Wilson. He had 282 passing yards. That's most by a rookie quarterback in a game in franchise history, which snapped a 4-game losing streak for the Saints. But for the Panthers, Chris, this is their second straight home loss after they started the season 3-0 at home.
Yeah, well, they're a little bit of a team like we've talked about with some. The game has to go a certain way. And when they can't run the ball, and to me, when the onus kind of goes on like, okay, pass game, Bryce Young, now you got to carry the squad.
NFC Dolphins?
Right. I don't think he's capable of carrying them that way, or their pass game in general, just carrying them that way. And then them making mistakes, of course, whether it's his fumble, his interception, they had a field goal blocked, right? So all of that it's just, again, they're not the type of team that can make those mistakes and come out on top. It's a Saints team that's I was surprised with how well they defended the run. I think that would be the big thing I'd say. But they obviously, found a way to do that and then limit any big plays in the pass game from Bryce Young or Teteria McMillan or anybody there. Shuck made the big play, right? The big throw to Olave for the touchdown. And, from that point on, it was just kind of a stalemate until they got the fourth quarter touchdown, and he threw the one to Juwan Johnson, who had a damn good day himself.
He had a really good game.
Yes, he did.
4 catches for a lot of yards for Juwan Johnson. Our last game, And it only made the rundown because I'm here. No, every game makes the rundown. The Jets beat the Browns 27-20. Back-to-back wins for the Jets after they started 0-7. The story of this game, Will McDonald, 4 sacks. That's tied for the most in a game in Jets history with John Abraham. Mark Gastineau did it twice. Of course, since sacks were tracked in 1982. For the Browns, this is their 13th straight road loss. That is the longest active road losing streak in the NFL. The Browns jumped off sides on 4th and 5 to clinch a loss. That was their second or third penalty of that drive.
Yeah, the Browns are a disaster.
They were
that was embarrassing yesterday.
I mean, Dylan Gabriel's offense is just so.
It's just yes.
Justin Fields and Dylan Gabriel was like, what offense is more hamstrung?
It's just pitiful. It really is. And I just that was an ugly loss. When you lose and the guy throws for 54 yards and they still score 27 points, and of course we know the special teams. I mean, you return a punt, you return a kick, and that's incredible. That really is. That's just rare. But yeah, from that was enough to just give them the edge with a crappy Browns offense. That I don't care who calls the plays. It doesn't matter. Tommy Rees, Stefanski is not creative in the pass game. Dylan Gabriel's not a starting quarterback in the NFL. I've already known and seen enough to know that. I mean, maybe if you put him on the best offense in football, he could be a starter, sure. But I don't see it. To me, he's a backup quarterback. And yeah, I just don't. What are the Browns? Where are they going? I don't really know. Paul DePodesta leaves, right? Are they ever going to play Shador? I don't. What are we going to wait?
Well,
how many weeks
now.
do we have to see Dylan? I don't know. Like, what do we do here? I don't know. I don't know where they're going in totality there. But that was a bad loss for them. That was a game yesterday where you go, if you guys just kneel on the ball the whole game. Don't punt, just kneel. You'll probably win the game.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, we want to play football. And I'm like, well, you play football. You'll screw it up and piss down your leg at some point. And that's what they did in the Brown style that they always do.
So that's it for the Week 10 recap.
Boom.
Yeah. A lot of the NFL's basement teams won this week.
Yeah.
Jets, Dolphins, Saints. I feel like I'm missing one more.
Yeah.
But it was like the basement teams found a little life.
The basement week, right? The basement week, we had some dominant efforts. I mean, I think we're starting to get a pretty good, clear picture of who the really good teams are, right? We've kind of said there's a robust middle class. We know that. But I think we all know, I mean, at least for my money right now, the Colts, the Broncos, and the Patriots in the AFC. And I really think the Colts and the Patriots are almost in their own little class. The NFC, on the other hand, as we've talked about, I look at the top 6 seeds and go, they could all go to the Super Bowl.
Sure.
The Seahawks, the Eagles, the Packers, the Bucks, the Rams, the Lions are all Super Bowl teams. But I think we're getting a pretty clear picture of where everybody stands there. And I'm not going to count Baltimore out in the AFC yet either. I'm not. Not with that quarterback and the way the defense is looking. All right, you the man, as always.
Yep.
Everybody, we're back tomorrow, 2 p.m. live, YouTube. Check us out. That's what we do. Wednesday pod, that'll come out early afternoon, late morning. We're just going to dive deep into football for the next 2 days, right? But tomorrow, YouTube Live, check us out, all right? Everybody be good. You know where to find us. Get at us on social media. Subscribe, rate, review. We appreciate all those that interacted and left comments during the show. Connor, you the man for driving the show.
Yep.
Peace out, homies. We'll see you next time. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern.